The scene opens as the night was calm to calm. The kind of quiet that whispers danger before it strikes. A lonely stretch of dirt road winds through a thick forest. The headlights of a small SUV cut through the darkness. David Cole, a simple man, drives home with his wife, Janeth. They had spent the day visiting family in the next town, laughing, planning, living, never knowing it would be their last ride together. Inside the car, David hums softly. Janeth leans her head on his shoulder. "You think we'll make it before midnight?" she asks. "If the road stays clear, maybe," he replies with a smile. The laughter fades as the sound of motorbikes grows louder behind them. Then came the echo of engines, hunters of another kind. 3 motorbikes race toward the SUV, their headlights flash. They block the road. David stops the car, heart pounding. Janeth's hands tremble. 4 men step out from the shadows, faces masked, guns raised. Their leader, Victor Kane, tall, cold, and brutal, taps the car window with his pistol. "Step out, now," he orders. David obeys, hands up. They took everything that glittered, wallets, jewelry, dignity. But greed is never satisfied. The robbers drag Janeth into the woods. David fights back, punching one man, but a gunshot rings out. David collapses instantly, blood staining the dirt. Janeth screams, "No, no, please." Victor pushes her down, and in the chaos, her cries echo into the night. Her screams vanish into the trees. By the time the forest goes silent, 2 souls are gone. A distant figure, Hunter Brooks, a seasoned hunter in his 50s, freezes when he hears the shots. He crouches behind a tree, peering through the darkness. He watches, horrified, as the gang wipes blood from their hands, laughing, before riding away. Hunter Brooks had seen death before, but that night, he saw evil. When the coast clears, Hunter runs toward the scene. He kneels beside the lifeless couple. Tears gather in his eyes. "God forgive me. I couldn't save them," he whispers. He wipes his fingerprints from the scene and disappears into the trees. Police cars arrive at dawn, sirens flashing. Detective Carl Benson steps out, examining the scene. 2 bodies, no witnesses, no leads, he mutters. Paramedics cover the bodies. 2 smartphones lie tossed aside in the bushes, unnoticed. 3 days later, 2 teenage hikers, Tunde Adewale and Jason Lee, wander the forest. They stumble on the lost phones, dusty but intact. They laugh, pocket them, and walk away, unaware that faith has just changed their lives. Innocence sometimes wears the face of guilt, and fate has no mercy. At the university campus, Tunde and Jason joke with friends, showing off their new phones. "Man, can you believe someone dropped this brand new model?" Jason laughs. "Lucky day, bro, real lucky day," Tunde replies. Across town, at police headquarters, a signal blinks on a computer screen. Detective Benson, the victim's phones, they're active again. A tech officer calls out. Benson slams his coffee down. "Track it. Find whoever's using them." Sometimes justice moves fast. But speed without truth is a weapon of its own. At the university grounds, SWAT officers storm the school. Students scatter in panic. Tunde and Jason are pinned to the ground. "We didn't do anything." Tunde shouts, "What's going on?" Jason cries. "You're under arrest for the murder of David and Janeth Cole," Benson declares. And just like that, 2 young lives are chained to a crime they didn't commit. In the interrogation room that night, the boys sit across from Detective Benson. "Tell me about your gang. Who's your leader?" Benson demands. "We're students, sir. Please, check our records." "We found the phones in the woods." Tunde pleads, "You expect me to believe that?" Benson shouts, slamming the table. Truth is powerless without proof. And fear has no mercy on the innocent. Months later, the courtroom is full. The boys in orange jumpsuits, reporters flash cameras. Headlines read, "Deadly student gang convicted in double murder." Their parents cry in the gallery. Teehee judge's hammer falls, guilty. Injustice is sealed that day. The real killer's free, the innocent condemned. A newspaper lies on a coffee table months later. A hand picks it up. It's Hunter Brooks. His eyes widen as he reads. "And the man who knows the truth can stay silent no more." The city glows with lights as the new year approaches. Fireworks crack in the distance. Laughter fills the air. But inside Hunter Brooks' heart, there is only noise, the kind that guilt makes when it refuses to die. Hunter sits in his in-laws' living room, a newspaper spread on the table before him. The headline screams, "University students convicted in double murder of couple." He reads the names again and again, Tunde Adewale and Jason Lee. His chest tightens, his hands shake, the words blur. "They're innocent," he whispers to himself. "They didn't do it." He drops the paper, stands, and walks to the balcony. The sounds of celebration outside feel distant, cruel. His wife, Claire, enters the room. "Hunter, are you all right?" He doesn't answer immediately. Then, with a deep breath, he says, "I saw it, Claire. The night it happened, I saw everything." She stares at him, stunned. "What are you saying?" "I saw them die. I saw who killed them, and I said nothing." Tears well in her eyes. "My father needs to hear this, tonight." Hunter nods. "I know." They drive across town, the hum of the car heavy with silence. The city fireworks explode in the sky as they arrive at the home of Chief Raymond Ellis, her father, the city's chief of police. Inside, Chief Ellis greets them with warmth that fades when he sees the look on Hunter's face. "What's wrong, son?" he asks. Hunter takes a deep breath. "It's about the Cole murder. I was there, sir. I saw it happen." The room freezes. The chief studies him carefully, disbelief in his eyes. "Explain," he says quietly. Hunter recounts every detail, the robbery, the shooting, the woman's scream, the gang's laughter, and how he hid, terrified. "I should have gone to the police. But I panicked. I thought they'd blame me. Now 2 innocent boys are paying for my silence." Chief Ellis paces the room, face tense. "Do you realize what this means? That the case my men closed was a lie?" Hunter nods. "Yes, sir." The chief clenches his fists. "Tomorrow morning, this case reopens." Morning arrives with a heavy storm. Chief Ellis enters the precinct, every officer standing to attention. Detective Carl Benson, the man who led the previous investigation, looks nervous as the chief storms into his office. "Benson, bring me the Cole case file, now." "Yes, sir." Benson stammers and rushes to retrieve it. Minutes later, the chief flips through the file. Thin, no depth. No witness statements beyond the obvious, no forensic leads followed. He slams it shut. "This is it." "This is your investigation," Benson gulps. "Sir, we traced the phones." The boys were innocent," the chief snaps. "You built a conviction on convenience." Silence fills the room. Benson lowers his head. "We had no other leads." "You didn't look for any." Ellis growls, "You're off this case." Effective immediately, he calls his secretary. "Get me Marcus Reed. Tell him it's urgent." Later that afternoon, Marcus Reed, a tall, sharp-eyed lawyer known for his activism, enters the chief's office. "Raymond, you sounded desperate," Marcus says. "I need your help," the chief replies, handing him the file. 2 students were convicted for a crime they didn't commit. "I want this reopened." Marcus scans the pages. This case is a mess. No chain of evidence, no secondary witnesses, no crime reconstruction. They rush the process. He looks up. "You have a witness now." Ellis nods. "Hunter Brooks. My son-in-law." Marcus closes the file slowly. Then we have hope. The next morning, Hunter stands in front of a courtroom packed with reporters and officials. His heart pounds as Marcus stands beside him. Chief Ellis watches from the back. The judge enters. The case of the state versus Tunde Adewale and Jason Lee is reopened. Marcus steps forward. "Your Honor, new evidence has surfaced." A living eyewitness who saw the actual killers, gasps fill the room. Hunter takes the stand, voice trembling. "I was hunting near the forest when I heard gunshots. I saw the men who did it. There were 4 of them, led by a man with a scar across his left cheek. I didn't come forward then, but I can identify them." The judge listens intently. Marcus hands over photographs pulled from police archives. These men are part of Victor Kane's gang, known for armed robberies across the state. Never caught. The judge nods gravely. Proceed with the investigation. Within hours, Chief Ellis mobilizes his task force. SWAT officers suit up. FBI agents arrive to assist. The storm outside rages as armored vehicles line up in the precinct yard. Ellis stands before them. Tonight, we finish what incompetence started. We move on. Victor Kane. No mistakes. Engines roar to life. Night falls. Somewhere on the outskirts of the city, in an abandoned warehouse, Victor Kane's gang counts cash and loads weapons. Music blares in the background, laughter thick with arrogance. Suddenly, lights cut out, silence, then flash grenades explode. SWAT bursts in. Gunfire erupts. Down, down, shouts an officer. Victor grabs his rifle and fires wildly. The warehouse becomes a battlefield. Hunter's voice echoes in narration. When justice sleeps too long, it wakes up hungry. Several gang members fall. To surrender, Victor runs through a side door, chased by Ellis and his men. The rain pours hard. Ellis corners him near a fence. Victor Kane. Drop your weapon, Ellis shouts. Victor turns, sneering. You're too late, Chief. The kid's already paid for it. Not anymore, Ellis says, firing a warning shot. Victor lunges forward, gun raised, but Ellis's bullet strikes him in the shoulder. He drops, screaming. The fight is over. At dawn, the gang is brought into custody. Victor sits in handcuffs, blood on his shirt, eyes defiant. Ellis leans across the table. Talk, Victor smirks. We did it, all of it. The robbery, the couple, the kids had nothing to do with it. A camera records every word. Marcus watches from behind the glass, satisfied. Days later, the courtroom fills once again. Reporters murmur as the gang is led in, faces pale. Victor Kane stands before the judge. How do you plead? Guilty, Victor says, voice low. The others echo him, trembling. The judge's gavel strikes. Victor Kane, sentenced to death by lethal injection. His accomplices, life imprisonment without parole. The crowd erupts. Hunter sits in the gallery beside his wife, tears in his eyes. Tunde and Jason became free men once more. Their parents embrace them, weeping with joy. Chief Ellis turns to Hunter. You did the right thing, son. Hunter nods slowly. Just late, outside the courthouse, reporters swarm. Marcus raises a hand to speak. Let this remind us that justice delayed must never be justice denied. As the crowd disperses, Hunter looks up at the setting sun. For the first time in months, he breathes without guilt. The morning sun breaks through the clouds. For the first time in months, the city feels lighter. The front page of every newspaper carries the same story. Victor Kane sentenced to death. Wrongfully convicted students freed. In a quiet park, Hunter Brooks sits alone on a bench. He watches the people walk by, children playing, couples laughing, life moving forward. Yet inside him, the weight of what he saw, what he failed to do, still lingers. His wife, Claire, approaches, holding two cups of coffee. You haven't said a word since yesterday, she says gently. Hunter stares at the ground. I thought when I spoke up, it would feel different. But all I see are the faces of the dead, David and Janeth. If I had come forward that night, they'd still be gone. But maybe those boys wouldn't have suffered. Claire sits beside him. You can't rewrite the past, Hunter, but you changed the ending. That's what matters. He nods slowly, eyes distant. At the police headquarters, Chief Raymond Ellis stands before a small gathering of officers. The air is heavy with both pride and disappointment. The law exists for truth, he says firmly, but truth requires diligence. Detective Benson's negligence cost two young men nearly their lives. Today, we fix that mistake. Carl Benson stands apart from the others, shame written across his face. The chief continues, Benson, you are hereby dismissed from the force for gross incompetence. Benson lowers his head. I understand, sir. He walks out silently, the door closing behind him with finality. The chief turns back to his men. Let this be a reminder. Justice isn't about closing cases. It's about finding the truth, no matter how long it takes. Later that afternoon, Hunter meets Marcus Reed outside the courthouse. Marcus, he says, extending his hand. Thank you for fighting for them. Marcus smiles. You gave me something to fight for. Most people stay silent their whole lives, afraid of what the truth will cost. Hunter nods. The truth cost me peace, but silence almost cost me my soul. Marcus pats his shoulder. You did what most men wouldn't. That's redemption. They part ways. Weeks pass. Tunde and Jason return to campus. Their classmates welcome them with cautious smiles and soft apologies. They've become symbols of resilience, survivors of injustice. At the university courtyard, reporters gather as Tunde gives a short speech. We lost our freedom for something we didn't do. But we never lost faith that the truth would come out. To every young person out there, don't give up, even when no one believes you. The crowd applauds. Jason looks up and sees Hunter standing at the back, watching quietly. Their eyes meet. Hunter raises a hand slightly, a silent apology. Jason nods once, forgiving him without a word. That evening, Hunter visits the forest, the same place where it all began. The wind rustles through the trees, and the memories come rushing back. The gunshots, the screams, the silence. He kneels where the Cole couple once lay, now marked by a simple wooden cross placed by their family. He lays a bouquet of wild flowers on the ground. "I'm sorry," he whispers. "I was afraid, but I promise you, they paid for what they did." The sound of birds fills the forest, as though nature itself exhales. At the same time, in a cold prison cell, Victor Kane sits alone. The clock on the wall ticks toward his final day. His hands tremble slightly. Gone is the arrogance that once ruled his face. He stares at the ceiling, haunted by every scream, every crime. When the guard approaches, Victor murmurs, "Tell the chief." "I'm ready." The next morning, the execution chamber is quiet. Officials observe from behind glass. The chief stands among them, his expression solemn. Victor's voice is faint. "I'm not asking for mercy, just for it to end." Moments later, silence returns. Justice, in its harshest form, is complete. Weeks later, Chief Ellis, Marcus, and Hunter meet at a memorial event organized by the Cole family. The two freed students are there too. Standing by a large framed photo of David and Janeth, the chief steps forward to speak. Justice can be slow, and sometimes it stumbles. But as long as there are people willing to speak the truth, even when it's late, justice will always find its way. He turns toward Hunter. "This man reminded us that courage isn't the absence of fear. It's doing what's right despite it." Hunter lowers his head humbly as the crowd applauds softly. Later that night, Hunter walks along a quiet path outside the city. The stars glow faintly above him. He stops, looking up at the sky. His voice is calm now, steady. "For months I ran from the truth, but the truth doesn't fade. It waits. It waits for you to stop running. When you finally face it, you find peace." The sound of the wind blends with distant laughter from the city. Hunter smiles faintly and walks into the darkness, the weight finally lifted from his heart. Let us know in the comments which of the channel's pending videos you want to see continued most urgently. Help us decide, because your votes will decide which videos stays alive and continued. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly subscribe to our channels. The End.